All right, we are now recording and you may begin the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. This is an emergency meeting of the Sierra Madre City Council to discuss the fire emergency that we have here. So with that, we'll open and Madam City Clerk, if you can call roll.
Thank you. Mayor John Kaposha.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Spende. Councilmember Jean Goss.
Here.
Councilmember John Harabedian. He's here. He's here. Councilmember John Harabedian. Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum and may conduct city business.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first, just approval of the meeting agenda.
Mayor, if I could interject real quick, there is no public comment on items not on the agenda in an emergency meeting, so we can remove that item from the agenda and approve it as amended.
Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, if you can call for the vote.
Mayor Kaposha.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mende.
Aye.
Councilmember Goss.
Aye.
Councilmember Harabedian. The motion to approve the minutes as amended, it was approved by a majority vote.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we believe Councilmember Harabedian is with us, but unable to hear him at this time. He has checked in earlier. Okay, so Mr. City Manager, you want to take it from here?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. We have a proclamation before the City Council to declare a local state of emergency due to the Bobcat fire. This morning at 9 a.m., we evacuated Sierra Madre residents east of Santa Anita and north of Elkins. And I'm going to turn it over to our fire chief to give a more in-depth update. At the conclusion of that update, we'll ask council to consider the proclamation by a formal vote.
Okay. Is Chief Bartlett with us?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, you're on.
Okay, sorry about that. Just to kind of give you guys a brief update of the fire itself after this morning's briefing, even to kind of go back a little bit further. I've been up since about 3 this morning. Was up at the top of Chantry Flats up there where you get a really good view of this thing. The fire has come down the eastern side of Santa Anita Canyon and is, at least at that time in the morning, was encroaching on the bottom of the canyon there. And at that time, pretty heavy fire activity into there and big concern on that. By the time I got to the briefing, basically what we were looking at to kind of tie this thing all together as far as the fire goes, especially at our point of concern here on the southern end of the fire. Starting in the east over in Monrovia, they have done, the fire crews have done some really incredible work in there, especially around the Boy Scout camp. They've been able to, for the most part, really put that fire down in that section. They're concerned about their eastern flank and the thing making around over by the Fish Canyon area. And now the other portion for Monrovia is their western side of their community and the eastern side of Arcadia. That's the next point of contention, really, if you will, and into basically our northeast section of our community as well, which we share with Arcadia. So everything up in the Arno and Elkins area up in there, which is in line with that eastern side of the canyon. As already been mentioned, we did the Arcadia with a portion of us. Sierra Madre side, we issued that evacuation order for that component of basically northeast of Sierra Madre communities and the Arcadia communities. We currently have in place with the command posts and those folks additional evacuation areas that have been identified, mainly our canyon areas, both the upper and lower. Obviously, concerns for us for obvious reasons on the egress, the number of folks in there, and the ability for the access. Those have all been in place. We have identified an area of which we believe that the fire reaches, that we will then do an evacuation order for that area as well. So it's going to be fire dependent on whether we issue any further evacuation orders. At best, in talking with operations and the folks back at the command post, we are probably looking at the rest of the community maybe being affected tomorrow, but could be as early as this evening. So we are definitely recommending that anybody north of Grandview, especially in the canyon areas, stay alert and are ready to evacuate when that order comes. We've got everything in line, team-wise, on the law side as well as the fire side to make those evacuations happen. We will give those residents sufficient, what we are anticipating is sufficient notice before any fire activity in that area. So they should be able to do so safely and hopefully in an organized manner. So that's looking pretty good. As everybody knows, the resources for all fires in California, as well as the region, including Oregon and Washington and everybody else that has fires currently, resources are very thin, and so ordering is happening. But that's why you may not have seen the activity that we have all wanted to see. We do have the rotor wing or the helicopters that, as far as I know, I haven't really been in the area recently, but they should be up and flying and making water drops on the fire. And like I said, the main concern for fire crews right now are going to be what we're considering really that Sierra Madre, Arcadia, Monrovia fusion in there on the east side of Santa Anita. Arcadia's Wilderness Park is probably the next point of interest for everybody, where we're going to probably see some activity. And that's if that's not currently happening, it's definitely planning on happening soon. Weather looks like it's going to hold pretty much the same. But for us looking out, it does look the skies are a little bit clearer, which is going to be a potential double-edged sword for us in the fact that we'll be able to get perhaps the fixed wing or the airplanes in there, potential retardant. Those are on order and they're on standby. They just have not been able to fly because of the weather. But if that does happen and the skies kind of basically open up without, talking about the smoke, it has the potential for more extreme fire behavior if that happens. So that's just something that everybody's going to on the fire lines will be cognizant of, and we're going to be paying attention to and monitoring as well. They have a lot of bulldozer lines that are in place currently. And one of the main ones is going from Chantry Flats up to Mount Wilson, and they have also put in some contingency lines. Basically, there's a couple in between Santa Anita Canyon and north of our communities. And they're hoping to basically push this thing back up into the forest for the most part. We anticipate and we're preparing for this thing to eventually skirt across our local foothill here where everybody will see it. And it will be visible. We currently are looking for this thing to follow past fire history and kind of look the same. So those that have been through some fires here locally with that, kind of might be able to recognize what that looks like. With the absence of any weather, additional weather, for instance, winds, we're looking at those models. The winds would change it for us, but they're not in the forecast. That's pretty much what I have for the end of my report. Aside from we're currently local update for ourselves is our water tender has been assigned to the incident. I want to say for the past 3, maybe 4 days now. Everything's kind of ran together. They are currently in the Monrovia area helping with air operations, helping to fill some of the helicopters in there that are doing real good work for all communities. So we're happy that we're being able to provide that resource. We will remain staffed with our engine and our rescue ambulance for calls for service as normal in the city. And we are also staffing our second engine to help out with Arcadia and Monrovia as needed, more on a task force level. So it'll be, if asked for, it'll be kind of fluent back and forth. We don't expect this fire to come down as a fire front. It'll be coming basically down what we refer to as in chunking motions, little pieces at a time. I believe that's all I have and available for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Chief. What questions do we have?
Mayor, Councilmember Harabedian has advised that he is in the meeting. He's just unable to verbally comment, but he is watching the meeting and he is able to participate if necessary.
Mayor,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I have no idea why it wasn't connecting. Chief, can you just give us, I mean, I think a lot of people are trying to tune in or listening. Is there, in terms of the immediate threat, if you are, you know, in the canyon or the northern parts of the city, what do you advise folks to be doing at this point?
Am I on mute? Can you hear me, sir?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Immediate threat. We are not seeing any immediate threat as of today for the west side of Santa Anita. However, that is determined on the fire activity, and we need to be prepared for those evacuation orders. At best, or at the case we're looking at right now, we are looking more towards tomorrow on that portion of our community. Currently on the east side, like I said, in Arno and the Elkins area, and in those communities that kind of mesh in with Arcadia, that they can see some more fire activity today than we can on the west side. And like I said, most of it that we will be able to notice is probably going to be in the Arcadia wilderness area up in there. So for right now, I just want everybody in the community to be vigilant, looking after one another, and like I said, the canyon residents, both upper and lower, definitely be prepared should that order come, and we will make that assistance for them to get out with as much time as we can provide. But right now, if those folks have a place to go, we would suggest that they go ahead and they start doing that. I'm not saying they need to front up any money for hotels at this moment, but make arrangements, maybe make reservations, that kind of scenario. They can go to the temporary Red Cross Center that should still be active over at the Santa Anita Racetrack. And if not, if they need additional information, we should be able to provide that at the station as well. Hopefully that answered your question, sir.
Yeah, it did. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Chief, first, thanks for everything you guys are doing. I would like to, Mike, I have a lot of concerns. The one that sticks out is some of the stuff as I've been watching our social media and the city's private social media, it seems like there's a big concern out there about these tourists who are coming up into the area and potentially blocking our streets. as we need to get our emergency equipment to various points in the city. Can you update us on what's being done to make sure that that traffic has been controlled properly?
Yes, sir. We have activated the parking restrictions within the county. Within the canyon areas. So there's anybody with vehicles that are going to need to be getting out of there earlier should be doing that now. We will be working with our police department to make sure that we put some plans in place. I could probably have Chief Armelin speak to that and any plans that they have to help enforce that to keep people out of there. But basically, yeah, any non-residents that are going to be up in that area, they should be easily identifiable because we currently are not allowing anybody to be up there with vehicles.
Has that been an issue so far?
That is my understanding from the police side is we've had that happening, and I think they've been up there being pretty vigilant and kind of shooing the folks out of there.
Okay.
But I know that's on their plate as well.
Right. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Mayor, can I have a quick question, please?
Sure.
So I'm not sure if this is directed to City Manager, Chief Bartlett, or to Chief Roderick, but in terms of communication, I know there's been concerns in timeliness and how frequently, and especially right now since such a critical time and really may impact residents directly. What can we expect in terms of communication, and how will communication proceed?
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. We've, for the past week, we've been giving status updates on the fire as it moved slowly towards Sierra Madre. There has not been a direct threat to Sierra Madre until early this morning. What you're going to see from us now is much more regular posting, updates, and communication that's focused on the fire impacts for Sierra Madre residents only. We will link back to kind of greater updates on the fire through the Angeles National Forest and other agencies. But what you're going to see from the city specifically is Nixle alerts, updates to the city's social media on Facebook, and updates to the city's website, which is citysierramadre.com/Bobcat. And we include in all of our messages these links, including our Nixles, so people should be able to access whatever is most convenient for them. And if Nixle Nixle will be the one that we use the most frequently for information like what's happening now, because that's pushed out to people. So we've been giving regular but slow updates on the fire because it didn't have an immediate impact to Sierra Madre. Now that it does, you'll see lots of frequent communication.
Thank you.
Wasn't sure Dave wanted me to check.
Hey, just one more question, Mr. City Manager. Do we have sufficient penetration with Nixle? I mean, do we have the subscriptions to at a level that helps to get the word out?
We do have a good portion of residents that receive Nixle, but the reason we're using our website and social media and asking people with every message to check on your neighbors and give the information to your neighbors is we're trying to blanket as many different ways of communication as we can. So we're really pushing and asking people to sign up for Nixle if they haven't already. And we are seeing more people sign up, but we'll be doing not just word of mouth, but we'll be going up in the canyon with the fire engines and talking with people directly as well, in addition to the additional officers that we have posted in the impacted areas.
Okay.
Mayor or City Manager, can we just, I signed up for Nixle literally this morning. So for folks listening, can we just explain to them how to do that?
Yeah, just go to nixle.com and you can enter your...
How do you spell that? Just so people, people are probably like, what's Nixle? So
yeah, that's a good point. It's Nixle. So just nixle.com, nixle.com, and you can sign up at the site for text alerts, email alerts, phone calls, and it will go to as local as you want it to go, all the way up to your zip code.
So at a minimum, how do you just make sure you're getting the Sierra Madre information?
So just going to Nixle and entering your phone information there will get you all of the Sierra Madre information. If you enter your zip code 91024 or 91025, you'll get all the information on your phone or email, however you sign up.
Okay, so that's the key. Just make sure you put in your zip code in there, huh?
Correct. Once you're on the site, it's very easy to sign up. It's very
Okay.
easy to change your information too.
Yeah, okay. Okay, no more questions. We'll open it up for public comment if anybody's listening on the public comment channel.
Mayor, if I may make an announcement.
Sure.
So we enabled audio listening for this meeting because we wanted folks to be able to listen in, but that does create an issue for anybody who does wish to make a public comment. So if you are listening in on the line right now and you wish to make a public comment, what you need to do is leave the meeting, essentially hang up, and then call back in. That will be our marker to understand that you wish to make a public comment. On the other hand, if you are listening in and you want to continue to listen but not provide public comment, then you can simply stay on the line.
Okay, so you're watching to see if people are dropping out at this point?
That's right. And when they rejoin the meeting, then we will know that they wish to make a public comment.
And Mayor,
Okay.
while we're waiting to give people an opportunity to drop off and call back in, just 2 additional points to make. If there are further evacuations and people need to go to the Santa Anita racetrack, they're asking that we enter through gate 5. We are also going to have representatives from our community services team try and make contact with any Sierra Madre residents that have evacuated. And if we can get anything that they may need, we're going to provide that service. And for everyone on Santa Anita in those areas, I want to let the police chief just let you know what the plan is for that area.
Morning, everyone. So just want to make sure everybody's clear. We have called out or the Area D resources, which means we have a unified command with Arcadia PD, Monrovia PD, and Sierra Madre PD. And we're going to be running that command post out of the Santa Anita racetrack. So all those resources are coming together and actually starting the evacuations in the identified areas. We already have our resources up at the identified area for us, which is north of Elkins and east of Santa Anita. Our folks are actually knocking on those doors. We're providing all of those residents with directions on how to get to the evacuation center. And we're also going to work with Rebecca's folks to contact our people, as the city manager just said, as they arrive and ensure and see if they need any additional needs. We're working with Arcadia and Highway Patrol, and we're going to take Santa Anita north of Grandview and shut that down to anyone except residents so that we can control the access up there. We're also going to post someone at, excuse me, I forgot the name of that street, Stonehouse in Grandview, because there is a back way to get in through our community from there. So we're going to shut that down as well so that it's only open to residents so that they can still go and come to try and prevent the groups of looky-loos that have showed up over the past couple of days. There's about 32 homes up there currently that we're evacuating. And as I said, we're going to definitely provide them with directions and let them know that it is an evacuation order and identify the residents who are there and who, if any choose to stay, we're going to record and document who they are so that we do know we have individuals at homes in the event we have to somehow make our way back up there and perform a rescue. And so since it's a two-city evacuation, I've spoken directly with the, and we have the Area D resources that are going to try and work in getting those evacuations done. I've contacted the Sheriff's Department personnel, and they have committed to assisting us in the event the draw gets very big. They are going to help us by providing us with resources. And I do not see anything like that happening unless somehow the fire is affecting both areas and we are forced to go up into the canyon area and do mandatory evacuation. But we will have the resources needed to contact our folks and get them out of there. And we are going to go ahead and get a body up at the canyon area, because my belief is that absolutely with us shutting down the Santa Anita area, the looky-loos will then try to go that way and see if they can get up and see. So we're gonna shut that down there as well to residents only. That's pretty much all I got. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, that was a question I did have about the canyon. If you need to evacuate there, do you have the resources to knock on doors? And it sounds like the sheriff will be helping out. Is that right?
Yes, sir. The sheriffs, and I spoke with Chief John Perez over at Pasadena a few days ago, and he said if we should need any of their resources, he'd be more than happy to send some over as well.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, just really quickly, I think a lot of people, especially on a Sunday, are probably wondering, what does today look like? Should they be expecting to hear, sirens in town, or, I guess, can we get a sense of what today will look like for the average resident, especially those in the canyon?
They're going to expect that.
Yes, sir. I could probably answer best to that one. We are going to see, our residents can see a lot of activity from fire resources, including our own. You'll see a lot of LA County resources in there, along with other agencies, municipal agencies. Those resources have been ordered. Some are already here. I believe that we may be seeing some currently, and some are still on the way. Looks like we're going to have a staging area down at Arcadia County Park for these resources, and they will be pulled into both Arcadia, Monrovia, and Sierra Madre as needed. So you will be seeing quite a bit of activity, perhaps, and people going through the areas, trying to get themselves familiar. For those that are not local, they're going to be going through and basically scouting our areas, looking for the best advantage points for them, looking at how to best defend our structures and come up with their plans and their strategies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, one real quick. It's probably a weather question. How long do we anticipate, or how bad or much worse will this smoke situation get? Do we have any idea?
It's kind of like I mentioned earlier, a double-edged sword. To be honest with you, the smoke, obviously, it's not fun to breathe in. For those with any respiratory issues, we definitely want them to give consideration to maybe try to remove themselves from the area. The smoke itself, it does help us with the fire. It helps the fire cooperate for the efforts that we're trying to do, with the exception of the air support. The air support, as far as the airplanes or the fixed wing, the weather or the smoke clearing would aid that effort only, to be honest with you. But the smoke is going to be pretty much the same. It's a combination of ours and all the fires in the area. It's just they're all meshing together right now. I would anticipate we will have this throughout the week, most definitely the week to come, and we'll hopefully see from there. But I don't see it clearing anytime soon.
Thank you, Chief.
Mayor, if I can ask Chief Bartlett just another question. Can you confirm as to what the southern boundaries are or the boundaries for Lower Canyon? It seems that that's a question for some residents on Facebook Live.
We're going to be posting the evacuation.
Yeah, we will be posting on the city's website the evacuation area, which will hopefully help define those areas for us, along with evacuation routes. We have, as we all know, there's basically one way in, one way out, but we have opened up the emergency egress area that will spell out into the west side up there off of Vista, or excuse me, off of Sturtevant. So that we basically will have two areas up in there, but I'm sorry, one.
We're going to post those evacuation.
Yeah, we will be posting those on definitely on the city's website and as much platforms as we can get out. But to maybe answer your question even a little bit further, we are definitely looking Sturtevant and above, upper lower canyons as we all know them, and we will look at anybody that's adjoining those as we need to. But those are definitely our points of concern.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right, Mr. Milan, is there anybody attempting to join the public comment?
Bear with us, Mayor. Christian will let us know in just a minute. I do want to make an announcement that we do have 18 people listening, so folks have taken advantage of the listening opportunity.
Great.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, at this point, everybody stayed on to listen, but nobody called back in to provide public comment, so you don't have any public comment.
Okay, all right. We'll close public comment and, okay, so now back to the resolution.
I'll move for approval.
Well, we haven't, but one question. I haven't seen it yet. Have you sent it out?
Yes, Mayor, we did send it out, I believe, this morning, but we can send it again right now if you would like.
Okay, somehow I missed that, or can you? Oh, here it is. Okay. No, that's just a council meeting.
And to be clear, Mayor, the declaration that you're going to see is the one for the city manager's approval. What you'll be approving, the resolution that you're going to be approving will be drafted and signed shortly after you approve it, but it's going to be substantially in the same form that the city manager's declarations in that you were sent.
Okay.
But Alex, is the resolution is simply the proclamation that there's an existence of a local emergency as a result of the fire, right? I mean, there shouldn't be anything else in there.
Correct. You're just going to be ratifying the city manager's declaration.
Okay. Okay, Laura just sent it to me. Let me take a look.
Laura, do you mind just sending it to everyone again?
Yes, I sent it to the city council and the city clerk.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good with it. It's pretty straightforward.
Yep. Yeah, my motion stands.
Okay.
Second it.
Okay, Madam City Clerk.
Mayor Kaposha,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Arizmendi, Councilmember Goss,
Aye.
Councilmember Harabedian.
Yes.
The motion ratifying the city manager's recommendation of the declaration of emergency was passed by unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mr. City Manager, is there any other further comments or information that needs to be transmitted at this point?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Again, please, everyone, nixle.com, nixle.com, sign up for alerts if you haven't already. cityofsierramadre.com/Bobcat will give all of our updates on our webpage, and the city's Facebook page will be putting out regular communication as well. So the most important one, they're all important, but the most important one is Nixle, nixle.com. Please go and sign up.
Okay. And how soon can we expect a recording of this to be linked to our website?
That might be a question for Oscar.
Okay.
Mayor, we can get this up fairly quickly. There's some processing that happens on the back end for the recording, but we should be able to get it out, let's say, within the hour.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that because I think Chief Bartlett and Chief Armelin's comments are particularly informational that would be helpful. People had questions, they could look at that and it might help them.
Certainly, we'll get it up just as soon as we can and let you know that it's been posted.
Okay, great. Any other comments before we adjourn?
I'd just like to offer up to yourself, Mr. Mayor, and the council, for as much as I can be available during this, I'll give my number out to you folks if you don't have it already. However, I can be of help for information for you. Please let me know.
Okay. Yeah, really appreciate what our police chief and fire chief are doing. First of all, to keep the public safe and to protect any structures here. And again, I think if you listen to this, what you're hearing is we're being very proactive to ensure that, the word gets out early and we can evacuate early before any lives are actually in danger. So really appreciate the proactive work. So thank you very much. Okay, so with that, shall we adjourn? Any other
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Okay. I don't think we need a roll call on that. So thank you, everybody, and be safe.
Thanks.
Take care,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Safe.
Thank you.